So I'm out in Dallas, Texas for the Vid Summit event. I'm here in my hotel room going for a dark and moody look for today's video. I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit from talking so much during this event, but I have been keeping my finger on the pulse of AI news, and I want to break it down for you real quick in today's video, starting with the news out of OpenAI and ChatGPT. This week, OpenAI shared that 200 million people use ChatGPT every single week, which is up from 100 million last fall. But outside of the fact that they're continuing to grow, we got a little tease from OpenAI out of Japan this week as well. The CEO of OpenAI Japan was talking about the next iteration of GPT, and at this event, he called it GPT-Next. When talking about the GPT models, he said that comparing GPT-3 and GPT-4, the performance is nearly 100 times higher. He then went on to say that the AI model called GPT-Next will be released in the future, and it will evolve nearly 100 times based on past performance. So from GPT-3 to GPT-4, we got a 100x increase in performance, and apparently from GPT-4 to GPT-Next, we're going to get another 100 times increase in performance. What that actually looks like in the real world, who knows yet? Now, I want to jump back to something that I talked about in last week's news video, where I mentioned that OpenAI, Adobe, and Microsoft support California bill requiring watermarks on AI content. So there's this bill going through the California legislature right now called AB3211, which requires watermarks in the metadata of AI-generated photos, videos, and audio clips. When I talked about this in last week's news video, I mentioned, this is something I feel like most people can get on board with. It makes sense that AI-generated images, people should let others know that this was generated with AI. However, when I mentioned it last week, I just kind of quickly brushed over it because on the surface, it makes a lot of sense. To prevent deep fakes and things like that, people should just let others know if, hey, this was generated with AI, or hey, this is a real photo. However, there's a lot more nuance to it that I didn't really consider when I brushed over that article earlier. And I recently came across this Reddit post, which actually makes some good points. And the Reddit post is called California Bill Set to Ban Civet AI, Hugging Face, Flux, Stable Diffusion, and most existing AI image generation models and services in California. Now, the bill itself didn't say it was going to ban all of these places. This is sort of extrapolating out what could happen if this bill passes. But basically, this Reddit post is saying that this is going to be really, really difficult for open source AI models because there's so many AI models out in the wild already that already exist. They're already on people's computers. You've got Stable Diffusion, you've got Flux, you've got Animate Diffusion, you've got all of these AI generation tools that already exist. And it would be very, very difficult to retroactively add watermarking to all of these existing tools in the open source community. So this Reddit user basically says, if I read the bill right, essentially every existing Stable Diffusion model, Fine-Tune, and LoRa would be rendered illegal in California. Sites like Civet AI, Hugging Face, etc. would be obliged to either filter content for California residents or block access to California residents entirely. Now, we've already seen some of these companies out there completely block access to like the EU because of regulations that these AI companies thought were sort of too restrictive to continue in that area. This person is basically saying that could happen in California with all of these AI-based tools if this bill is passed. Now, additionally, this legislation would ban the sales of any new still or video cameras that do not incorporate image authentication system. Now, the confusion lies in the definition of newly manufactured. So they go on to say, if somebody wants to save money and buy a used camera, is it going to become illegal to buy a used camera from somebody that doesn't digitally watermark and say that this was a real image taken with a real camera? Anyway, I will link up to this Reddit post so you can dive a little deeper. What I actually did myself is I jumped over to Claude and I actually uploaded the bill itself, and I said, please give me the bullet points of what this bill aims to do and how it will impact AI companies. I got a quick breakdown of that bill, labeling synthetic content, provenance detection tools, adversarial testing, restrictions on removal tools, requirements for recording devices, etc., the impact on AI companies, increased development cost, compliance burden, product modifications to existing products, potential limitations on functionality, etc. And then what I did was I actually then took all of the criticisms that this Reddit post shared right here, I pulled that into Claude as well and said, here's a write-up on Reddit that criticizes the bill. how accurate are these criticisms? Compare the actual bill with the statements made in this Reddit post and tell me where the Reddit post is correct and where it's incorrect. And so Claude took the two and kind of gave me a quick comparison so that I could kind of find out if there was any issues with the logic in this Reddit post here. And here's essentially what the comparison analysis came back for me with Claude. I'm not going to read it all. I'm just going to pick the important bits out here. So technological feasibility, the post argues that the requirements may not be technologically feasible, especially for open source developers. And Claude says this post concerns about technological feasibility, especially for open source developers, is valid. The Reddit post also claims the primary provisions may become effective immediately upon codification. However, the bill does actually say this will become operative on July 1st, 2026. Impact on existing models. The post suggests that all existing Stable Diffusion models, fine-tunes, and LoRa's would be rendered illegal in California. And the analysis was, while the bill would require significant changes to how these models operate, it doesn't explicitly ban them. Instead, it requires them to implement provenance data systems. So the post overstates the immediate illegality, but the concern about the impact on existing models is valid. Under camera requirements, the post correctly notes that the bill would require new recording devices to incorporate provenance data systems. However, the post overstates the potential impact on phone purchases, as the bill allows users to opt out of applying provenance data. Anyway, I just wanted to bring this up again and spend a little bit more time on it in this video because I kind of brushed over this bill in the last video, but it sounds like there are much further reaching impact than what I initially sort of gave it credit for in that last video. Another thing I mentioned in the last video is that we're going to get a new voice assistant inside of our Amazon Alexas. And I mentioned, I bet they're probably going to use Amazon's Titan models because Amazon has their own foundation models, just like a GPT-4 or Anthropic's Sonnet 3.5. Amazon has their own Titan models. So I would assume that the Alexa would use the Titan models. Well, it came out this week that Amazon's new Alexa voice assistant is actually going to use Claude, which also makes sense because Amazon is a very large investor in Anthropic. While we're on the topic of Anthropic rolled out Claude for Enterprise this week. It's designed to help organizations securely collaborate with Claude using internal knowledge. The Claude Enterprise plan offers expanded 500,000 context window. That's a pretty huge context window, more usage capacity, and native GitHub integration, which will allow you to work on your entire code base with Claude. Now, if you've ever tried to code anything with Claude, which I've spent a little bit of time doing, that is kind of one of the issues, is that it sort of loses track of code earlier up in your conversation. Well, with this GitHub integration, you'll be able to just sync your Claude account over to GitHub, and it will just every single time look at the whole code to figure out where to modify things. So if you use Claude for coding, the Enterprise having GitHub integration is pretty huge. Hopefully they allow the GitHub integration on, the smaller pro plans for $20 a month. I'm just one dude over here playing around with this. I don't need the Enterprise plan, but damn, I really want that GitHub integration. Claude also did another solid for developers this week by announcing the Anthropic QuickStart repo. So it's a collection of projects designed to help developers quickly get started with building deployable applications using the Anthropic API. They put it up on GitHub over on Anthropic's GitHub account, and they put up their first QuickStart here on how to create a customer support agent using Claude. So they basically gave all this code here, and I'm guessing you can take this code, pull it all into Claude, and you can sort of use this as a starting code base for coding your own Claude customer support agent. You just pull all this code in and then start telling Claude, here's what I want the code to do. There's also a detailed README here on GitHub that walks you through step by step exactly how to set all this up for the first time. So if you want to build your own Claude-based customer support agent, well, Anthropic's got you covered. Having a website is just a great idea for anybody. It's always smart to have a place on the internet that you own, that's not controlled by the big social media companies. That's why for this video, I partnered with Hostinger.com. Not only are they one of the least expensive hosting platforms, they also have a load of AI features that are really cool. If you head on over to Hostinger.com/Matt Wolfe, you'll be presented with this page where you can claim a special discount. If we click Claim Deal and then take a peek at this business website builder plan here, you'll notice just a load of AI features. You can purchase just 1 month or all the way up to 48 months in advance. And if we scroll down here, click on this coupon code button and enter the coupon code Matt Wolfe, we can watch as another 10% gets taken off the price tag. Once you're logged in, it's easy. Just click add a website, choose the hosting your website builder because that's the one where AI pretty much does all the work for you. We'll go ahead and click start creating. For this particular site, let's go ahead and use a landing page to build an email list. Let's pretend I'm building the Future Tools newsletter. And then for the description, I can simply speak out exactly what I want this site to be. This is a lead generation website for the Future Tools newsletter. It should tell people why they should subscribe to the newsletter and give them the option to opt in. Then we click create website and then watch as Hostinger does its AI magic to build the website for us. Less than a minute later, I have a website built, ready to go, subscribe button, join button, details about what you'll get when you opt in. Obviously, we'll go back through and change the text and images, but we're ready to start capturing leads. If I click on edit site, we've got a simple drag and drop builder where I can redesign the site however I want. And then over on the left sidebar, I've got all sorts of AI tools like a logo maker, a section generator, an AI blog generator, an AI writer, an AI image generator. All the AI things are built into this platform over on hostinger.com. It is quick, it is easy, it is inexpensive, and you can make it even less expensive by going to hostinger.com/MattWolfe and then using the coupon code MattWolfe at checkout. Thank you so much to Hostinger for sponsoring this video. A few months ago, one of the original co-founders of OpenAI, Ilya Sutskever, he was also their chief scientist. He actually left OpenAI. He was a big part of the whole Sam Altman getting kicked out of OpenAI drama. After that all happened, he kind of, I guess, lost relevance at OpenAI and eventually left the company to start his own new company called SSI, or Safe Superintelligence. Well, apparently, Safe Superintelligence just raised $1 billion. A company that's only 3 months old just raised $1 billion for 20% of the company. Now, back when Ilya started this company, he posted on Twitter, they're not going to be too focused on any customer-facing products. They want to be a research lab. They want to develop the technology. I'm sure at some point they're going to have some sort of customer facing products so that the company can actually make money and, get return for the investors. But as of right now, I think their plans are just to put their heads down and build. And what's crazy is this is a 10-person team that's only 3 months old and they just raised $1 billion to be able to do this research. Seems like lately X has been having all sorts of issues. They were recently banned in Brazil. Well, now it looks like X is having issues with the EU. So one of the things that's really powerful about Grok is that it's got access to real-time Twitter data. So you can ask it questions and it will basically search Twitter to see what people are saying about that topic that you asked. Well, if you live in the EU, now Grok isn't going to actually pull in any data from people in the EU. So if we ask it questions, people in the EU might have the perfect answer, but apparently X is going to exclude that data due to some of the policies in the EU. Google had a few new rollouts this week as well. They're adding the improved search in Google Photos. Now, this is being released right now in the US and only to early access members. If you go to labs.google, you can see they have the Ask Photos option, and then you can join the wait list, and then ideally they'll be sort of letting people in quickly. I don't know how quickly they're letting people in. I'm not in yet, but I'm on the wait list. But basically what this allows you to do is it allows you to search your Google Photos with natural language, like typing things like Alice and me laughing, and it'll find all photos of those two people laughing, or what did we eat in Bangkok, and it will pull up images of whatever you took pictures of in Bangkok that have food in it. Here's a little animation here, Emma painting in the backyard, and then it does a search of all of the photos of this child painting in the backyard. Or what did we eat at the hotel in Stanley? And then it brings up, food from that place that they went. So pretty cool that you can use this natural language, top 10 things we saw in Idaho, and it will just pull in photos from your Google Photos related to that query that you gave it. Again, this is only in the US, and it's only if you're in early access. If you go to labs.google, you can join the wait list. Google's also rolling out virtual try-on with dresses in their AI shopping tool. If you find dresses in Google Shopping, you could try them on a wide variety of models. It's not like you upload your own photo and it puts you in and it actually shows what you'd look like in it, but you can pick from different models, I guess, try to find the model closest to you and then try the dresses on that model, kind of what it's doing. I have a feeling in the future, if you want to put your own face and body into it, they're going to have that. But right now, it's just these models. So we've got some news in the overlap of crypto and AI, something I very rarely talk about. But Coinbase sees their first crypto transaction between AI agents. It says here, Coinbase CEO Brian Armstrong recently oversaw his first crypto transaction completely managed by artificial intelligence bots. So a bot designed to carry out a certain task use crypto tokens to interact with another AI agent and acquire AI tokens. These AI tokens are essentially strings of data that enable algorithms to learn from information. So he went on to explain that the reason AI agents aren't effective right now is due to their lack of transaction capabilities. Without a payment method, they struggle with basic tasks like booking plane tickets or hotels, and even managing social media tasks beyond just creating content. AI agents cannot get bank accounts, but they can get crypto wallets. They can now use USDC on Coinbase to transact with humans, merchants, or other AIs. Those transactions are instant, global, and free. So we can see why the sort of overlap of crypto and AI agents could be valuable, because they can go use that currency to book plane tickets or hotel or do all these agentic tasks like, hey, I'm going to Dallas for Vid Summit this week, book my airfare and hotel. I need to check in this date, check out this date. I only want to fly these airlines, so make sure it's on one of those airlines and make sure I don't stay at this hotel and it needs to be within 1 mile of the convention center, right? You can give it all of that information and now it can actually go and do all of those steps, even if it requires making purchases on your behalf. Now, that also sounds a little bit scary. Like, what if it goes and books the penthouse and a private jet? You don't want that kind of thing to happen. So obviously there needs to be some decent guardrails in place before this can be rolled out publicly, but we can see where they're going with it all. Here's an interesting one. AI will teach this class a lesson, but won't hang out in the teacher's lounge. So this article on Tech Radar here is talking about how there's a course at London's David Game College which is bringing virtual teachers to a real classroom. So basically, they're going to have AI teach lessons inside of virtual reality headsets. The idea being that the lesson is tailored to each individual student. They go into this virtual reality world. There's an AI teacher that has the information that they're teaching. They're learning from this AI teacher, and if they're struggling with stuff, the AI teacher will sort of work with the student more on those areas, and each student in the class has the training sort of more tailored to them. Now, there are like overseer teachers also, just to make sure this is a success and to actually give real world human feedback to the other students if necessary. But who knows? This could be the future of education. I kind of feel like people will want the option. Like, I bet there's a lot of people that really don't want to learn inside of like a metaverse by AI. They want the old school teacher sort of thing. But there's also going to be some people that are like, I'm an introvert. I don't want to leave my house. If I can learn in virtual reality, sign me up. It's the only way I'm going to get a degree, right? So I can see people loving this and I can see people hating this. Either way, I think it's going to be fun to watch how it plays out. So this is pretty interesting here. Robert Yang here, the co-founder and CEO of Altera, showed off what he calls Project SID, the first simulations of 1,000 plus truly autonomous agents collaborating in a virtual world with emergent economy, culture, religion, and government. Check this out. They basically created this Minecraft world and loaded it up with a whole bunch of AI agents, and every single character in this world is all AI. There's no humans in this world. In the video, they say that these characters in this Minecraft world set up a market. They agreed to use gems as the currency, and they built a whole economy with inside of the game. This video shows off, I guess, the 3 coolest emergent things that happened when they set this up. So go ahead and just check this out. I'll just press play and we can watch it.
With Olivia's dream. Olivia worked as a farmer, providing food for the entire civilization, until she was inspired by the tales of the village explorer Nora. Olivia attempted to go on her own expedition, but townsfolk pleaded with her to stay, and Olivia actually listened. She gave up her dream for the village, for now. Next, we simulated parallel worlds under Trump and Kamala. For each one, citizens have a shared constitution in Google Docs that they can vote on to amend. Under Trump, the simulation passed new laws to increase the amount of police in the world. Under Kamala, they focused instead on criminal justice reform and removing the death penalty. Because our agents are social and grow over time, they're impacted by group dynamics, but also use their individual power to change the system.
I know it looks silly, but this is the first time we see agents can form a democracy and govern themselves.
Lastly, we have the missing villagers. When agents were concerned about missing townsfolk, Villagers took initiative by leaving their posts and working together to illuminate the town with torches, hoping to create a beacon for lost members.
What's surprising about these agents is how once they got deeply worried about their fellow villagers, they band together and changed their plan.
You should definitely watch the whole video. I linked up the tweet with the video in the description. It's definitely worth the watch because the idea is just, again, to test it with Minecraft, but then to apply the same ideas to actual real world tasks that you would want these guys to accomplish and not just, gaming tasks. We have a new AI video generator in town. Once again, this one's out of China and it's called Minimax. Once again, they're comparing it to Sora, claiming that it's the next big AI model. This article here claims that people are making entire short films with this new AI video generation app, but you can actually use it over on this website, hailuoai.com/video. And the site's actually in Japanese. I had it translated, but we can look at some of the featured video clips that are available here, like this kid playing a video game and then the character coming out of the screen. And I mean, it looks kind of similar to a lot of the other video generators we're seeing right now, like Kling, like what we're getting out of Runway, what we're getting out of Dream Machine. It looks like it's on par with those. Can I really say that this is a whole lot better? No. I mean, I'd say it's pretty much on par with what we're seeing. Just for fun, I had it quickly generate a man with a beard typing at a computer. And, well, that's not a computer. That's a typewriter. But it got the man with the beard, and it looks pretty decent. What's cool is if you just go to this URL, you don't even have to log in or anything. You just type in a prompt, click generate video. Now, it's not the fastest in the world. It might take a few minutes for the video to generate, but as of right now, from what I can tell, it's free to use. Just enter your prompt, click generate video, and then you can download the video. I'm not even logged in or anything. Luma AI also rolled out some new features this week with their Dream Machine 1.6. You can now give it camera commands like move left, move right, move up, move down, push in, push out, pan left, pan right, orbit left, orbit right, crane up, crane down, things like that, which you weren't able to do in the previous versions of Luma. So if you have a Luma Dream Machine account and you go to enter a prompt, you can type camera, and notice when I type camera, it brings up this drop-down box with all of my options for camera moves, so I can do camera move left and then just add the rest of the prompt that I would have added anyway. Here's what I got when I typed a wolf howling at the moon with camera move left. There's not actually much animation going on with the wolf, but it's definitely moving the camera left. Something more to play around with. This is literally my first time testing it, but you definitely have more control now over the movements of your camera. Hopefully the rest of the animations still work as well. Again, if you've got Luma Labs Dream Machine, go play around with it. See what you can do with these new features. We've got some new AI news out of YouTube. They're developing AI detection tools for music and faces, plus creator controls for AI training. So this week, YouTube announced a new set of AI detection tools to protect creators, including artists, actors, musicians, and athletes from having their likenesses, including their face and voice, copied and used in other videos. They're also working on coming up with a solution that addresses the use of content to train AI models. Obviously, a lot of creators have been coming out saying that they're very frustrated that all of these companies are using their YouTube transcripts to train their models. So apparently YouTube is working on some sort of solution for that as well. Spotter, the company who is actually the main sponsor of the event I'm at right now, Vid Summit, they actually announced during this event that they are rolling out their YouTube brainstorming product called Spotter Studio. Now, it's actually funny because the video I released earlier this week was about the tools that I actually use in my life and my business to speed up my own processes and workflows. And in that video, I showed off Spotter Labs, which was the precursor to this new Spotter Studio. That was like the beta version. This is the full rolled out version, and it looks so much better. But if you're a YouTuber, this is super valuable. They've got this outliers section here where it looks for some of the outliers from just across all channels on YouTube, but you can also come up here and change this to my audience also watched, and it will show videos that are sort of in your niche that are outliers, videos that do a lot better compared to that channel's normal videos. Where this tool really shines is in its ability to brainstorm. I can give it an idea of something I want to make a video around, and it will help me brainstorm and sort of flesh out that idea, or I can just click the brainstorm button without entering anything, and it will just look at what does well on my channel and brainstorm based on what I normally make videos about. So without putting anything in, I got AI news update, wearable tech trends. This OpenAI tech is seriously amazing. Create stunning AI videos with one command, etc., etc. It knows what types of videos I post and then gives me ideas ideas for them. Let's say I like this design any website with one AI tool. I can click continue here, and then I can have it rephrase it. I can have it shorten it. I can have it explode it. I can change the mood of it. I can say this but and give some additional instructions. Let's just go ahead and play with this one here. And then I can click on concept, and it will actually use AI, give me a concept of what could go into this video. Matt Wolfe demonstrates how the new AI platform, AI Webmaster, can design and deploy functional e-commerce websites just by describing the desired features allowed, etc., etc. So it gives me a whole bunch of concepts of what this video could potentially be about. Once I know the concept and I've got a good title, then I can go to thumbnail, and it will actually look at the types of thumbnails that work well on my channel and generate a bunch of thumbnail suggestions, right? It knows I put my face in most of my thumbnails. It knows I'm usually like pointing at a screen or have something going on. So based on what it knows has worked well in the past on my channel, it generates thumbnail concepts for me. This is pretty cool. If you're a YouTuber, it's an amazing way to brainstorm ideas, figure out a deeper dive of what the video will be about, come up with thumbnail ideas. It's pretty cool. And they just announced it at this Vid Summit event. They're not a sponsor. I may have an affiliate link in the description because they did give me an affiliate link. It's just a really cool tool, and they announced this news this week. Lenovo has a new laptop. It's one of the new AI PCs, and it's got this really cool feature that I thought was awesome, where you basically take your phone and you smack it against the computer, and it pulls up all of the photos on your phone, and then you can literally just drag and drop the photos onto your computer. And what's cool is it works on both iPhones and Androids. I think one of the biggest pains in the butt about owning a PC, but also using an iPhone most of the time, is it's kind of a pain in the butt to get your images from your iPhone to your PC. Like I find myself sending them to myself in Slack or something like that just to make it easy. But something like this is really cool. You just tap, download the images, and it transfers really quick. I want this. So I wanted to share it because if I think this is cool and I really want it, I'm sure there's other people out there that'll think this is cool and can see how this is valuable. And finally this week, we got an intro to a new robot. We got the Neo beta from the company 1X. And here's their demo video. Here's the robot. This thing was circulating all over X with people going, come on, that's a guy in a suit. There's no way that's really a robot. But this is legit actually a robot. They just, put this bodysuit over it so that you can't see all the mechanics and stuff. But I don't know. It's kind of creepy how like realistic it looks. And then it comes back for a hug, and I think the very first post I saw about this is like, this is going to ruin marriages or something like that. Yeah, there's a meme right there. I'm not going to explain this meme to anybody, but it's a pretty interesting humanoid robot that kind of looks like a dude wearing a suit. I don't know much more about it yet, but as we learn more, I'll share about it more in future videos. And that's what I got for you this week. Sorry about the weird lighting and possibly not as good as normal sound. I am here in Dallas at Vid Summit learning about AI. AI was a huge topic at this event about how people are using AI for their creative processes on YouTube, learning about a whole bunch of AI tools that creators can use. There was a whole bunch of sponsors here. I was learning about all their tools. Been a fun experience. I highly recommend Vid Summit if you're a YouTuber, because this is one of the few events where I get to come and talk to other YouTubers. I'm so used to talking to like other AI and tech people and CEOs and people like that on the podcast. It's very rare that I get to talk to other YouTubers that understand like the struggles and the ups and the downs and the, the various phases of being a YouTuber. So I really love this event. And if you're a YouTuber yourself, I highly recommend coming out to it. I've met so many amazing people, so many people that watch this channel. If you watch this channel and you saw me at Vid Summit, you're one of the people who said hi, say hi in the comments again, because I love meeting people in person, and a lot of you guys I want to stay in touch with after this event. But again, that's what I got for you this week. If you like videos like this, you want to stay looped in on the latest news in the AI and emerging tech worlds, like this video and subscribe to this channel. I'll make sure more videos like this show up in your YouTube feed. I also share tutorials on how to use a lot of these cool AI tools. I also make video breakdowns of tools for various niches, things like that. If you like AI and you want to stay on the cutting edge of the latest tech, subscribe to this channel, and I would really appreciate it, and you'll see more videos that hopefully you enjoy. Also check out futuretools.io. This is a site where I curate a lot of the cool AI tools that I come across. I also keep the news page up to date here. There's a lot of news that makes it to this page that doesn't actually make my videos because I don't feel it's sort of on the same level as the rest of the news in the video, but I share it all over here. And then I've also got the Future Tools AI newsletter. It's all free. I'll keep you updated directly in your inbox. If you join the newsletter, you can find it all over at futuretools.io. And once again, thanks for nerding out with me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I record these on Thursdays. So if there's any new news that came out on Friday, I'll try to make it into next week's video. And yeah, appreciate you. Thanks again to Hostinger for sponsoring this video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.